Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like our track preparation is complete. We thank our crews for the tireless job they did. And at this time, we would like to begin our opening ceremonies. If you please rise as you are able, as tonight we will deliver our invocation to be followed by our national anthem. We direct your attention to the staging area down in turn number 1. You see the black 37F that is normally driven by Wesley Bonebrake, who is our third place driver in points, a driver hailing out of Hagerstown, Maryland. Well, back earlier this year, just a few weeks ago, the Frank Sagi Tribute had its latest induction of drivers into its Ring of Honor. On that evening, Barry Kleindienst, the great owner of the 43A car, legendary Dave Wilt in limited late model racing, and also Boop Robert, a super late model icon, they were the latest inductees. But back in 2021, there were 3 other drivers that were also inducted into this Ring of Honor. That included Denny Bonebrake, who is behind the wheel of that car at this very moment. Denny ranks number 3 all-time in Hagerstown victories with 84 and is a 4-time track champion. And in that 2021 season, Denny Bonebrake was one of the 3 drivers inducted into the Sagi Ring of Honor. Joining Denny Bonebrake that year was the late Larry Gorman, who we honored last year when Larry passed away from nearby Myersville, Maryland. And the other driver that was inducted into that Ring of Honor is a gentleman that we are honoring tonight, and that is Sam Nally out of Knoxville, Maryland. Sam ranked number 27, or 27 victories on the all-time win list here at Hagerstown Speedway. He was 12th all-time in super late model wins here at Hagerstown, and he was your 1982 track champion. Tonight, Sam Nally is remembered a year after he was inducted into the Ring of Honor. We lost Sam in 2022, leaving behind his beautiful wife Arlene of 53 years, his son Shane and Billy Ray, and grandsons Hunter and Jason. Tonight, as was the wish, Sam Nally's ashes will be distributed here on the front straightaway as a memorial to one of the true legends. When we mention the Hagerstown icons, we talk of Armel, Bonebrake, Franklin, Stuhler, and last week Durborough. We just hit the tip of the iceberg when we talk about Sam Nally and so many other great drivers as Denny spreads the ashes right now in the remembrance of Sam Nally, one of our great super late model drivers. And there you see, Sam will forever be immortalized here in the Speedway grounds of Hagerstown Speedway. For 27 times in this career, he helped so many people enjoy watching him win super late model races and brought a lot of joy with his 1982 championship. We thank the good Lord for giving us Sam Nally for so many years and so many wonderful memories. Our Heavenly Father, we thank you so very much tonight for the beautiful evening that you've given us. Thank you for the wonderful people that have assembled tonight to remember a racing icon and a true gentleman in Sam Nally. We know he's one of your angels in heaven, and tonight your angels on earth are looking out for him as he looks down, and hopefully with the largest smile of ever on his face. Sam gave a lot of us racing fans a lot of great memories, and for that we honor him tonight, and we are so grateful that you gave us Sam for the many years that you did. In the present, we are so thankful for all the drivers that we have here tonight. Please protect them, guide them, keep them and their crew members safe tonight here at the Speedway, as well as all of our officials. But most importantly tonight, we thank Denny Bonebrake, and we remember your angel, Sam Nally. In your precious name, amen. Sam's wife Arlene there with Denny Bonebrake. Very touching moment. Something I've never witnessed in all my years of racing, and something so very wonderful tonight. We remember an icon. We remember a great racing family. And we thank the Bonebrake family for being a part of it tonight here at Hagerstown. Arlene, thank you so much for providing us with so much here this evening.
right, driver's gonna speed it up. Green, green, green. Yellow, yellow. Stay low in 2. Stay low in 1 and 2.
Caution coming out, debris high up in turn number 1, and we'll get back under green with group number 1 of our late model Sportsman drivers here in a few moments.
Drivers, we're green.
All right, group number 1 wrapping up. Danny Atherton, the 19. He'll be tops on the board to kick things off in warm-ups here tonight.
4, stay low in turn 4.
Drivers, green, green, green.
All right, group number 3, wrap it up. Cody Breed, number 2 in the late model Sportsman points. As we mentioned, good battle between he and Brian Booz. 1 point separating those two drivers. All right, once again, Simulate drivers to the staging area for your time trials. Simulate drivers, we need you to the staging area for your time trials, please. Late model Sportsmans will go number 2 in the order tonight in time trial action this evening, followed by the Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Models, and then our Bob Spielman Realtor Pure Stocks, which are warm up and getting set for their time trial action coming up tonight. Well, again, we mentioned Simulate point standings. Steve Kent has got 3 victories so far this year. He'll be out in his time trial efforts coming up here in a few moments as our Simulate drivers are all getting staged and ready to go for their action tonight. Kent with a 19-point edge over the 83. 2-time feature winner Brian Kearns at Cross Junction, Virginia, as we get set. Qualifying time tonight here at Hagerstown. 65 of Dylan Wilson. He'll be one of the drivers coming down to the Cassville, Pennsylvania, the 1-time feature winner. Ahead of him, the 88Z, Isaiah Miller out of Greencastle, PA. And the 83, 2-time feature winner Brian Kearns out of Cross Junction, Virginia. All right, drivers have gotten the green as we get our qualifying underway, and we get ready to set the bar here in Simulate qualifying. Track record in Simulate set by Steve Kent last year at 21.414 seconds. Back to the stripe for the 88Z of Isaiah Miller, 23.587 on his first lap. 65 of Dylan Wilson, 22.180. And the 83 of Brian Kearns, he'll take number 2 at 23.189 on lap number 1. And 10 cars in our Simulate division, so the time trials for them will go quickly. Late model Sportsman drivers for your time trials. Late model Sportsman drivers, you can start making your way to the staging area for your time trials. Late model Sportsman drivers to the staging area, please. All right, group number, or lap number 2, we should say, of group number 1, 65 of Dylan Wilson. He will take the top time for the moment, 22.180 seconds. 83 of Brian Kearns, 23.189. And the 88Z, Isaiah Miller, 23.587 will be his best lap time in the beginning of tonight's Simulate action. Pair of 19s out there. The 19 of Ronnie Dennis, one of those drivers out at Littlestown, Pennsylvania. The 9-time feature event winner in 2005 Pure Stock champion. He will make his way across the stripe as he grabs a green flag. 3-time winner and point leader Steve Kent at Woodsboro, Maryland, the 1C. He crosses under the flag stand. And the 19M being powered by Bobby Meisel at Littlestown, Pennsylvania. The next 3 drivers out. Again, late model Sportsman drivers for your time trials to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Lap number 1 for Ronnie Dennis in that 19 machine. He'll go number 2 at 22.287. Kent quickly tops on the board, 21.896. Mike Sell, the 19M, he'll fall in the number 4 position right now at 22.989. Kent, 21.414 set a year ago. Ronnie Dennis back to the stripe, and that 22.287 will be his best lap time. Kent in the 1C back to the stripe, 22.499 on lap number 2, and the 19M of Bobby Meisel will be a 22.821. So right now the 21.896 set by Steve Kent has him tops on the board in our qualifying tonight, as he's gunning for the title and also a chance to win that championship as the Simulate season begins to wind down here rather quickly. Again, late model Sportsman drivers for your time trials. Late model Sportsman drivers, we need you to the staging area for your time trials, please. 22-star Ryan Sager out of Huntington, Pennsylvania, making his way out onto the racetrack, and also the 3D being powered by Shane McQuay out of Sykesville, Maryland. Another one of our strong competitors. McQuay not in victory lane this year, but currently number 4 in our Simulate Series standings. Again, late model Sportsman drivers to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. Final pair of cars in Simulate action. Well, we have 1 or 2 more left down there. The 22-star of Sager back to the stripe. And for Ryan right now, currently number 5, 23.011. 3D of Shane McQuay. He'll check into the number 6 position right now at 23.042. As this pair of drivers making their final run around the big Hagerstown half mile. Sager trying to best his number 5 spot, and he'll move up 1 notch to number 4, 22.654 on lap number 2. And for the 3D of Shane McQuay, he will stay in the number 6 spot. 22.904 will be his best lap time.
You were done. That was 3 laps for you. Last lap doesn't count.
All right, 25 at Jeremy Mills, another one of our drivers, top 5 in the Simulate division points for the 2025 season, making his way out. As we mentioned, Steve Kent up top and has a little bit of a gap right now. As we mentioned, only 19 points over Brian Kearns. Those two have a pretty good battle coming down to the wire. 19 separate them. Dylan Wilson to the 65, 63 points back. And then Shane McQuay and Jeremy Mills here are the top 5. A little bit out of reach, I believe, for a Simulate championship as Mills gathers his speed up and gets the green flag in the 25. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, you are next. Late model Sportsmans for your time trials to the staging area, please. First lap on the 25 at Jeremy Mills, 27.231. That will have him in the number 9 spot. Right now, Steve Kent currently up top. Dylan Wilson, Ronnie Dennis, Ryan Sager, and Bobby Mikesell. They are the top 5. Shane McQuay, Brian Kearns, Isaiah Miller, and the 25. Jeremy Mills wrapping up his 2-lap time trial session. Coming off of turn number 4. And 27.231 will wrap it up for Jeremy Mills as Steve Kent, our top qualifier tonight in our Simulate division time trials. All right, Keith Koontz of the 08, pretty good in warm-up action tonight. The driver hailing out of Boonesboro, Maryland, on the track first in late model Sportsman time trial action tonight here at the Speedway. Another car very strong in the warm-ups. The 14, Cody Breeden out of Fairplay, Maryland. Number 2 in points, but just 1 point back. And then the 70J, DJ Myers out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. All right, Koontz will begin to set the bar tonight in late model Sportsman qualifying, bringing the 08K machine back to the stripe. A little high off turn number 4. White flag is out. 21.343 will be lap number 1 as we get the Cody Breeden machine. 19.882 for Cody Breeden right now at 18.649. Track record set by Brad Lowe. DJ Myers in the 70J, 19.896. Here comes Kuntz back to the stripe. His lap is going to be a 21.343. That will be his best. Breeden a 19.882. So lap number 1 was his best. And then for DJ Myers, right now 19.896 will be his best. So Breeden sets the bar right now, 19.882 for the Fair Play Maryland driver, the number 2 driver in late model Sportsman points. And right now, one-time feature winner in 2025. All right, group number 2 about set to make their way onto the racetrack. The E85, powered by Chad Ernst out of East Berlin, Pennsylvania. He'll be the first of 3 drivers to make it out for the 2-lap session here this evening. Next in line behind him, the 51, powered by Bradley Benton out of Duncansville, Pennsylvania. And the 88C, powered by Chuck Cox III out of Nottingham, Maryland. All right, Chad Ernst looking strong in warm-ups earlier tonight. The E85, he'll go 3rd on the board overall, 20.244 here on lap number 1. 51 of Bradley Benton back to the stripe for Bradley, 21.580. And the 88C of Chuck Cox, he'll be 4th right now at 20.579. Final lap for Ernst in the E85 machine, trying to bump up a little bit if he can. And he'll maintain 3rd, 20.244 will be that best lap time. Back to the stripe of the 51 of Bradley Benton. And Benton moves up to 4th at 20.409. And Cox also improves up into the number 4 spot now at 20.313. So right now early, Cody Breeden, DJ Myers, and Chad Ernst, top 3 in late model Sportsman time trials. As we are just hitting the tip of the iceberg. And a lot of heavyweights still to come tonight in our 2-lap sessions. For a class that has had a lot of different winners. 9 different drivers found their way to victory lane a year ago. This year, so far, 8, and only 1 repeat winner, and that is Kyle Lear. Here's your point leader, the B2, Brian Booz out of Greencastle, PA. The 94 of Brandon Bard, also from Greencastle. And the number 1, your defending late model Sportsman champion, or actually, excuse me, the 5.56 out there, that being Eric Cronice out of Boonesboro, Maryland. Booz having some good warm-up laps. He and Cody Breeden, they are going to have that dogfight right down to the wire here in the Late Model Sportsman Championship as he brings it back to the stripe. And the green are making the white is out. And for Brian Booz, 20.630 for the moment. That puts him number 6 on the board. Brandon Barr at 20.602. And for Cronice, right now, 21.456. Booz in 7th right now, trying to find a little bit more speed out of that Booz Brothers performance machine. He brings it back to the stripe for lap number 2. And Booz goes 3rd, 19.993. The 94 of Bard right behind him at 20.075 in the number 4 spot. Cronice in the 5.56. He'll move up into the number 8 position, 20.979. So right now, Cody Breeden still tops on the board. DJ Myers and Brian Booz now the top 3 with Brandon Bard and Chad Ernst. Currently the top 5 in late model Sportsman qualifying. Next group coming out, 000, Matt Murphy looking very good, or I should say Dale Murphy out of Stevensville, Maryland. That driver had some good warm-up laps in the 000 machine. Behind him, top 5 in the late model Sportsman points, the 19, Danny Atherton from Three Springs, Pennsylvania. And the number 96, Matt Hildebrand out of Starksville, Virginia. So let's see what Dale Murphy's got in that 000 machine. A lot of different drivers have been behind the wheel of the car. Murphy bringing it back in the 000 right now. Lap number 1 for Murphy. Right now 8th on the board, 20.730. Danny Atherton always strong early in the night, the 919 machine. Currently 8th on the board, 20.530. And the 96 of Hildebrand. He'll check in at 20.783 here on lap number 1. That will be good enough for 10th. Lap number 2 for Murphy. Back to the stripe. Dale will be 9th right now. 20.595 will be his best lap time. Trouble for Atherton. Close to the wall. And scrubs a lot of that speed off. The 19 will be 8th on the board at 20.530. That will be his best lap time. The 96 of Hildebrand also 10th right now at 20.783. So no change in the top three. Breeden, Myers, Booz, they are right up top in our late model Sportsman qualifying so far. All right, 37F, Wesley Bonebrake out of Hagerstown, the one-time feature winner and number 3 man in points. 28Z, Ryan Zook out of Mifflintown, Pennsylvania, and the 42, Jordan Malinowski out of Front Royal, Virginia. Our next 3 drivers out for late model Sportsman qualifying. Zook finally got that late model Sportsman win earlier this year. He was in a very tight battle with Shoemaker and Bonebrake for the championship a year ago. Couldn't get the victory, and this year finally got the monkey off his back and got one. Bonebrake, meanwhile, still in the hunt for the championship. 37F, good first lap. He'll be number 5, 20.087. Zook in the 28Z, currently 11th right now at 20.682. And the 42, Malinowski, right now 21.815. Back to the stripe, final lap. Bonebrake, good first lap as he tries to improve on that. Back to the stripe. He will be at 20.087. He'll drop it down. He'll remain in 5th. Zook will move up into the number 9 position, right now at 20.481. And the 42 of Malinowski, he'll remain back in 15th at 21.815. That will be his best lap time. So again, no change in the top 4. It was Breeden, Myers, Booz, and Bard, and now it's Bonebrake. A lot of B's up in there, as they are the top 5 currently in late model Sportsman qualifying, and we're just beyond the halfway point in our 2-lap sessions for the late model Sportsman drivers. Crate late models, gentlemen, you can start getting ready and moving to the staging area. Crate late models for your time trials to the staging area, please. 58, Austin Warrenfelds, hopefully fixing whatever problems he had in warm-ups. The Williamsport, Maryland driver out. 3-time winner Kyle Lear in the 151 out of Savannah Park, Maryland, and the 25, Jonathan Rayleigh out of Hollywood, Maryland. Our next 3 drivers on track. And problems again for Warrenfelds. A 58 came across the stripe, and he wound up at a 21.477. That will put him in the number 16 spot. The 151 of Kyle Lear, still looking for speed in that car. Right now he's 6th on the board at 20.134. 25 of Jonathan Rayleigh. And right now he's 20.963. That has him in the number 14 spot. Warrenfelds 21.477. For the moment, that has him 17th. Lear will be 6th at 20.134, and the 25R, Jonathan Rayleigh, will wind up 14th right now at 20.963. So again, Cody Breeden, DJ Myers, Brian Booz, Brandon Bard, and Wesley Bonebrake, followed by Kyle Lear, Chad Ernst, Chuck Cox, Bradley Benton, and Ryan Zook as your top 10 in late model Sportsman qualifying. Crate late models, again, you can make your way to the staging area. Crate late model drivers for your qualifying to the staging area, please. All right, up next, 2+2, Cody Kirshner, multi-time winner in many classes over the years out of Greencastle, Pennsylvania. He's next on track. Joined by the 12, Doug Legum out of Rockville, Maryland. And our 3rd driver out, Andy Anderson in the 25 out of Bunker Hill, West Virginia. All right, Kirshner back to the stripe. Let's see what the 2+2 has under the hood right now. Cody going to be 16th on lap number 1, 21 seconds flat. Legum brings the number 12 back to the stripe. For him, his first lap is going to be at 22.481. For the moment, that's got Legum in the 20th spot. Anderson's 25. He will move up into 11th on lap number 1 at 20.524. Kirshner's second lap, it's a good one, up to 7th at 20.241. For Cody Kirshner, it's Legum back to the stripe. And the number 12, And lap number 2 for Doug Legum will be a 22.072. Anderson, fastest of that group. And right now for Andy, he'll be 12th on the board at 20.524. Just a handful of drivers left to go, about 5 or so in late model Sportsman time trials. Again, crate late models, you can make your way to the staging area. Your qualifying is coming up next. Crate late model drivers to the staging area, please.
Guys, that was your 3rd lap. It doesn't count.
21M on Matt Murphy out of Bel Air, Maryland will be the next driver out in qualifying tonight as we try to get a couple of drivers from the previous session off. All right, our next group of late model Sportsman drivers waiting for things to get cleaned up from the previous group. 21M of Matt Murphy on track right now. 27 of Lee Zeger at Huntington, Pennsylvania joins him. And the 87X, Eric Irvin at Petersburg, Pennsylvania. He also had some good warm-up laps. Let's see how the track looks and how his car feels here in our time trial session. Again, crate late models to the staging area. Crate late model drivers to the staging area for your time trials. All right, white flag out from Matt Murphy in the 21M. Look good in the warm-ups, and Murphy up to the number 6 position, 20.090. 27 to Lee Zeger right now. He will be 15th on the board at 20.553. 87X Eric Irvin, top qualifier tonight, 19.834. Looked very good in warm-ups and backs it up. 21M of Murphy will wrap up his time tonight, and for Murphy, right now, Murphy's going to be 8th on the board, 20.090. Zeger improves up into the number 6 position at 20.085 and a 19.834 for Eric Irvin into Petersburg, Pennsylvania. Great run for the 87X. 2 more heavyweights left to go. It's your defending champion and also another driver that had some very good warm-up laps tonight. That's going to be the number 1 is Sean Shoemaker at Mount Union, Pennsylvania, the driver who won our Hagerstown Speedway late model Sportsman title a season ago, and a very good set of laps and warm-ups for the 2T of Trayton Lee out of Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. They will be remaining 2 drivers in late model Sportsman time trials. All right, Sean Shoemaker trying to see if he can come close to Eric Irvin's speed and time. And Shoemaker 10th on the board in lap number 1, 20.138. And trouble. Trayton Lee almost completely turns it around, slides it sideways, comes to a stop, and that's going to kind of foul everything up for everybody on this one, as Shoemaker's second lap was impeded. So Trayton Lee still looking for that first one. So we will hold things up right now. So Trayton Lee getting the push off into the infield area. Looks like Shoemaker's got at least 1 lap coming to him in that number 1 machine. 10th on the board in round number 1, 20.138 seconds. So Shoemaker will get a chance to gather it up as our final late model Sportsman to take time tonight here at Hagerstown. All right, Shoemaker back onto the clock. As we mentioned, 10th for the moment. He will All right, Shoemaker back to the line to the number 1 machine. He'll go 4th right now, 19.969. And that should be it for Shoemaker. He did get 1 lap earlier before the issue with Trayton Lee came, so that should wrap it up for the late model Sportsman driver. Blues Brothers Performance, Crate Late Models about set to do battle with their 2-lap time trials. Again, final points night for the 2025 season, and how fitting, the point leader is going to be the first one that's going to be coming out. That's 27, a Kyler Upperman at Greencastle, Pennsylvania. As we mentioned, coming in, a little bit of a pad in our Crate Late Model points for Upperman for the moment. Kyler right now has got a 64-point edge over the 19 of Alan Witt Jr. and the 14C of Chuck Bowie. And here comes Upperman down the back straightaway. Bowie, one of the drivers chasing him in the point standings. The 14C at Welcome, Maryland. He's the winner at Potomac in crate action last night. And the 38, make it 28, powered by Dylan Pryor out of Williamsport, Maryland. Kyler Upperman starting things off tonight. It will be a 21.594. Bowie quickly 21.235. Goes underneath of him on the time. And the 28 of Pryor. He'll be 3rd on lap number 1, 22.358. Logan Robertson setting that time at 19.660 just a year ago. As Upperman back to the stripe, 21.387 will be his best lap time. Bowie at 20.861. He'll set the bar right now in crate late model qualifying with the 28 of Dylan Pryor back to the stripe, 22.358. That will be his final lap. He'll be 3rd after group number 1. Now, we mentioned in crate late model action, we have had a very busy season in victory lane. Devin Brandon in the 137. He took the opener. It was a non-points race. And then David Kaiser came into town in the 11K. He picked up the first of 2 victories. He has got another one since. Jacob Witt, Scott Sweeney Jr., and then Kyle Hardy. They have all been the winners this year. 44 of Nick DeBella from Mount Airy, Maryland, on track right now. The 19 of Alan Witt Jr. out of Stevens City, Virginia. And the 11K, David Kaiser out of Winchester, gunning for victory number 3 tonight. All right, lap number 1 for Nick DeBella right now going to be at 22.480. Alan Witt will be 3rd on lap 1, 21.486. David Kaiser tops on the board, 20.717 on that first circuit. DeBella to the stripe, lap number 2. He will be number 5. Right now, 21.898 seconds. The 19 of Alan Witt Jr. He'll be 4th at 21.486. Kaiser looking to drop his time down just a little bit more. Maybe not. 20.717 will be his best. He was off the pace a little bit on that one. But for the moment, David Kaiser up top. Chuck Bowie in 2nd. Kyler Upperman, your point leader, in 3rd. Pure Stocks for your time trials to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers for your time trials to the staging area, please. And apparently we do have a transponder was found out on the racetrack, and we're trying to pinpoint it. Looks like it may have been the 19 of Alan Witt Jr. who may have lost it on his 2nd lap. We did get a lap recorded on him. Right now having him in 4th at 21.486 seconds. So that was the reason for the hold up down in turn number 1. And we'll resume with our crate late model action here in a few moments. Again, Pure Stocks for your time trials to the stage and area. Pure Stock drivers for your time trials to the stage and area, please. On track next on the Speedway, the 2D powered by Josh Dotson out of Hollywood, Maryland, one of our regulars down at the Potomac Speedway. 40S, Scott Sweeney Jr. out of Stevens City, Virginia, one-time feature winner here at the Hagerstown Speedway. And your defending crate late model champion and one-time winner this year, also out of Stevens City, Virginia. That's the 33, being powered by Jacob Witt. All right, 2D of Josh Dotson. Lap number 1 for him, for Dotson, 21.783. Jacob Witt third, 21.383. And Scott Sweeney, 22.068. Dotson back to the stripe. Right now, Josh will be 6th at 21.783. Will be his best lap time. 40S of Scott Sweeney Jr. back in 7th, 21.860. And the 33 of Jacob Witt having problems, and he will not complete that second lap. Witt is third right now at 21.383. So for the moment, David Kaiser, Chuck Bowie, Jacob Witt, Kyler Upperman, and Alan Witt Jr. They are the top 5. Josh Dotson, Scott Sweeney Jr., Nick DeBella, and Dylan Pryor. They are the top 9 in crate late model action. Again, Pure Stocks, you need to be at the stage and area for your time trials. Pure Stock drivers to the stage and area, please. Well, 9 of our 14 have wrapped it up, and tonight the 08B of Jacob Burdett, always strong here at Hagerstown. The driver hailing out of Brownsville, Maryland. 43 powered by Jared Edwards out of Mechanicsville, Maryland, and the B2 of Mason Booz out of Greencastle, PA. Our next 3 drivers on track. Burdett always strong, looked good earlier tonight. Let's see if that will transition to a good lap on number 1. It will be. He'll go third right now, 21.013. 43 of Jared Edwards looking for a good run likewise. Edwards will be number 8 on the board, 21.810. And Mason Booz up to 4th in the B2 machine, 21.132 on lap number 1. Burdett back to the stripe, looking to improve from 3rd spot. And Burdett will stay third, 20.985 will be his best lap time. Edwards brings the 43 back, looking to find just a tad bit more speed. Right now, 21.810 will have him in the 9th spot. Mason Booz currently 4th at 21.056. So right now, David Kaiser, Chuck Bowie, Jacob Burdett, Mason Booz, and Jacob Witt the top 5. Kyler Upperman, Alan Witt Jr., Josh Dotson, Jared Edwards, and Scott Sweeney Jr. Top 10 in Booz Brothers Performance crate late model action. Final couple drivers set to do battle tonight. The 21H of Nick Hassenfluck out of Winchester, Virginia, and the 26P of Marty Pownall from Augusta, West Virginia. The final 2 in our Booz Brothers Performance crate late model qualifying. Pure Stocks again should be at the stage and area. Your time trials will be next. All right, back to the stripe for the 21 of Hassenfluck. He'll be at 23.242. And Pownall will be at 23.290. Right now they are 13th and 14th in our final 2 crate late models for qualifying. Again, our Bob Spielman, Realtor Pure Stocks, 10 drivers. They'll be doing battle here in a few moments. And seeing where they're going to be lining up tonight. Checkered is out. Hassenfluck, he'll wrap up with a 23.043. And the 26P Pownall will be at 23.290, and it will be David Kaiser. All right, our final division tonight, our Bob Spielman Realtor Pure Stock Division. 10 cars to do battle with 2-lap time trials. 32F at Tyler Fisher out of Fair Play, Maryland, the one-time feature winner so far this year. He'll be first on track, along with the 76 being powered by Jesse Daniels out of Harrisonville, Pennsylvania. And also the 8B, Blake Reed out of Hagerstown. Fisher currently number 5 in our Pure Stock Series points with that victory coming earlier this year. And he'll look to kick off our Pure Stock time trials this evening. 24.361 kicks things off. To the stripe, going to be Jesse Daniels, 24.817. Blake Reed tops on the board, 23.943 on lap number 1. Late model sportsmen for your LCQ. Late model sportsman drivers for your last chance qualifying race. We need you to the staging area. Late model sportsman drivers, your last chance qualifier to the staging area, please. All right, final 3 drivers, or final lap for these 3. Blake Reed will be at 23.943. That will be his best lap. Tyler Fisher second at 24.088. And the 76 of Jesse Daniels at 24.817 on their first pair of laps in qualifying here this evening. Coming up next, going to be the one of Nick Fogel out of Myersville, Maryland. He has been a winner in the past, and actually, if everything had worked in his way, he would be on a 2-race win streak. But the last 2 weekends of pure stock action, Myers has been leading, or Fogel has, and something has gone wrong. So he's hoping the third time may be the charm for the Myersville, Maryland driver. Fogel leads him out and gets set for qualifying here tonight. 13, Cody Christie out of Berkeley Springs, West Virginia. And fellow Berkeley Springs driver, the 31, Nathaniel Yonker, the one-time winner and current point leader in pure stock action. Again, late model sportsman drivers for your LCQ. You can make your way to the staging area. Late model sportsman drivers for your last chance qualifier to the staging area, please. Fogel back to the stripe of the number 1 machine. He'll go number 2 right now at 24.074. Troubles a little bit for Cody Christie in that 13 as Yonker goes underneath. Christie may have some front end damage, or indeed he does. That right front folded over. Yonker at 24.619. Looks like Christie did hit the wall indeed, so the 13 off the pace. Fogel back to the stripe. He'll take the top time. 23.805 for Nick Fogel that time by. And Yonker in the 31 back to the stripe. Nathaniel will tuck into the number 3 position right now, 24.069. So Fogel right back up in the number 1 spot. Blake Reed currently second, Yonker third, Tyler Fisher, Jesse Daniels, and the 13 of Cody Christie, with some work to do on the front end if he can make it back out for that 15-lap main event later tonight. So far in pure stock action this year, Keith Reed 5 times a winner. Son Blake Reed still looking for that first victory and looking very strong in his qualifying tonight. We mentioned Evan Faust. He's back with us in the 78. Brandon Churchy in the 72. They are a pair of 2-time winners this year. Yonker picking up a victory last week, and we mentioned the 32F of Tyler Fisher, also a feature event winner this year earlier. 57, William Ecton Jr. next on the track in Mercersburg, Pennsylvania. The 17L of Randy Lindenberg out of Winchester, Virginia. And the 62, Dylan Beavers out of Hedgeville, West Virginia. All right, Lindenberg tops on the board, 23.402. Beavers in the 62. He'll go third at 23.833. Ekton in the 57. Right now he's seventh at 24.646. Final lap, 57 of Ekton, trying to bump up the board a little bit. And right now he'll be seventh at 24.548. Randy Lindenberg, 23.402. And the 62 Beavers back to the stripe. Dylan, a little out of shape off of turn 4. 23.833 will be his best lap time. And Randy Lindenberg still so close to that first victory of 2025. Well, while we wait for our late model Sportsman drivers to line up for an LCQ, ladies and gentlemen, the beginning of tonight, very emotional, very special. And it is our great honor to have a legendary person. I know he's with us a lot. People don't see him because he's in the pits, probably back there telling Wesley what he should be doing and what he shouldn't be doing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, Denny Bonebray. Give it a nice round of applause for one of our legendary drivers. You started with well, so finish that sentence.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that I'm out of it. Let's put it that way. But no, it was Sam and I and Larry Gorman, we've run around for 50 years together. And we were good friends, and she asked me if I would do this. It was, I was happy to do it for her.
You know,
it was a little rough.
And I'll be honest, when I grew up, and I'm 60, so I grew up following you guys through racing papers well before I got a driver's license, and even before my dad introduced me into racing, so much so where we were going to racetracks. But I was able to follow the Bone Breaks, the Armels, the Franklins, the Stuhlers, the Durboros, the Sam Nallys, and I followed Sam Nally through those old Tri-State Speed Press racing papers and grew to know them through the papers, and they became legends to me even before I got to see them on a racetrack. I can only imagine what it was like for you to race with those gentlemen.
Well, it was an honor. I mean, they were some tough competitors. Of course, today you have the same deal, just younger group now, but no, it was a real honor to race with him. Sam was you give him a slick track, he was one tough customer.
You know, it's just so great when you think about this time of year, because obviously between here and Winchester, there's a lot of memorial races that honor a lot of legendary people. I think tonight we have the Lee Stoltz Memorial over at Winchester. A few weeks ago, we honored Booper Bear. Barry Klein-Deans, who's got a legendary car that's had many drivers over the years. Dave Wilt, who you know very well. Just the list goes on and on. Obviously, we're honoring Frank Saggy, who was a legendary announcer, the best ever here at the Speedway. And then, of course, a weekend ago, Nathan Durborough. Does it really just blow your mind when you just think about all the many people, the pioneers, and so many great, wonderful people? The list just goes on and on of so many great faces and racers that have been here in this region.
Well, it is. See, I was a kid, and I was about 5 years old, sitting in a covered grandstand here with my mother. And you had Red Nininger, you had Bill Nally, which was, Sam's daddy. He was one of the best I ever saw drive, but there were so many. Johnny Grum, and you go back, Irvin King. But it's just, I grew up as a kid watching them, and then I got to race. So now I'm retired, and now I'm watching all the younger ones come in.
So what does give you the greatest amount of pleasure in life at a racetrack right now?
Oh, to watch my son win. Yeah, that's...
And he's done a great job.
Yes, he has. It's tough. It's tough now. There's a lot of fast cars. Look at all how many different winners have you had this year?
You had 9 last year. You have 8 this year so far, and only Kyle Lear's been the repeat winner. And there's still several others that are very capable of winning.
No, that's right, and it's not easy.
Well, Denny, thank you so much. It was an honor, and I guess I want to go back to when I said I was following Sam through racing papers and never got to know him personally like you did, even as a racing fan. When I was told about this earlier tonight, I went through the record books trying to figure out stats on Sam. I knew records on you as well. I know you couldn't hear it because you were in the race car, but for somebody that really didn't know Sam Nally personally, I was emotional. Upstairs, I could feel the lump in my throat and the tears in my eyes. So that shows how much this sport means to me, and I can only imagine what it means to you.
Yes, and I want to thank you. You did your homework real good from what I understood. Everybody said you did a wonderful job, for him, so I thank you.
Well, I'm here for you guys first. I'm here for the fans first. I'm here for everybody else. I come last, and that's what it's all about. I want to be here for you guys because you are the people that make it happen.
Well, thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, a true legend, Denny Bonebreak. That name will always live here at Hagerstown Speedway. Steve Kent, you are number 1. All right, 3-time winner. Where the heck have you been? Oh, that's right. We don't have you on the schedule for the last month or so. You've been hiding from us. What have you been doing?
Not much, man. Just working, trying to make a couple dollars to afford to do this. But
Giesemann driving you, slave driving you anywhere, racetracks or anything?
no, I actually, well, we ran Ceilings Grove, but I had mechanical issues, so I kind of cut my race short. But that's the last time we ran, and yeah, he didn't show up tonight. So.
That's okay. All right, you feel good? You haven't rolled that dice in a long time. You still think you got it in you?
And the last couple ones is number 1, so I hope I can back it up here in a second.
All right, hope you didn't jinx it. Steve Kent, go for it. Semi-late top qualifier, point leader, 3-time winner so far in 2025. Here he goes, and number 4. Steve's going to make it interesting tonight. Steve, glad to have you back. Good luck tonight.
All right, thank you, sir.
All right, Steve Kent, the 1C in semi-late action. All right, next driver, let's go with a man who's been on a roll. Can he win twice again in a weekend? He did it at Dog Hollow, so I'm going to watch a driver step forward. Where's David Kaiser on me? 8 wins at Dog Hollow, is that correct?
Yeah, 11 total in a year, so it's been a pretty good year, so hopefully we can keep on going and get a couple more before the end.
Well, you just came right out of the blocks again quick tonight. You're the only repeat winner in crate late model action, but let's switch over to Dog Hollow. What has made that place so special for you on Friday nights? Because I know a lot of our other drivers, like Lear and that bunch, they'll go up there and race. Ed Pope, they like it up there, and it seems like it's been a pretty good track for a lot of you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it just fits my driving style, sideways and on the gas, so I don't know, I just like it.
All right, you're going to throw the gas, you're going to do the dice sideways and on the gas too? What's your strategy for throwing that one?
Well, either way, I guess I got to start 6, so it doesn't really matter.
All right, David, good to see you. Roll that dice and let's see what happens tonight for the 11K, our only repeat winner in crate late model action this year. And David rolls a number 4. That's the popular number. Glad to have you back and best of luck tonight. Thank you so much for being here, David.
Yep, thank you.
All right, David Kaiser out of Winchester, Virginia. He is tops. Eric Irvin, very good run. I saw you. You look very good in the warm-up laps, and you backed that up. You were the 24th driver out of 26 to go out, but the way the track is, obviously with all the rain we had, the humidity that we still have, obviously that didn't change. It looked like it even got better as the qualifying must have gone on for a lot of these drivers.
Oh, I think the payroll, the pill draw definitely paid an advantage tonight being a high number, so.
How's your season been so far? I know when you come to Hagerstown, you've always had some strong performances. We got to get that 87X in victory lane. We're looking for that 9th different winner, but other than Hagerstown, how have things been for you so far this year?
We've got a few top 5s. We've got a win at Dog Hollow, and our momentum's starting to pick up a little bit, hopefully. So.
Well, we thank you for being here tonight, part of a very strong late model Sportsman field. We're going to give you a chance to roll that dice for the first time and see what Eric Irvin of the 87X can come up with here this evening. 4's been the popular man, and there it is again, number 4. Eric, best of luck tonight.
All right, thank you.
All right, Eric Irvin out of Petersburg, Pennsylvania. And this man, I don't know where you've been. I saw you one time last year in victory lane, and I know you've been getting stronger and stronger, but Randy Lindenberg, glad to see that top qualifying effort for you tonight.
Yes, sir. I tell you one thing, man. These guys are tough.
They are indeed. That is a very strong class. But last week, it looked like things were very much starting to come together. It looks like the last couple of weeks, it's really been getting a little bit better each week. You been tweaking on that thing?
Yes, sir. It's been a challenge with them leaf springs. I still tell everybody I sold the wrong car. But, yeah, we've been throwing everything to the kitchen sink at it. And last 2 weeks there, it's been pretty good. I thought last week I was going to get to 72. I just couldn't get a run coming off the bottom and without getting into him. And I don't drive like that. I'm not going to do something like that. You know.
Well, I know you hit me when you were hauling out here last week at Hagerstown. You didn't worry about the announcer, did you?
Nah.
I was lying there too, but hey, Randy, good to see you. Roll that dice and see what you can do for us tonight. Randy Lindenberg, our top qualifier right now in our pure stock division. I'm going to get the heck out of the way. I think Randy's going to hit me. All right, Randy's rolling it down the road. Rolling. Number 4 again. Wow. Josh, you got that thing locked on 4. Are you kidding me?
Are you?
All right, well, you got to come from 4th. You can do it, can't you?
That's it.
All right, Randy Lindenberg.
Way to go.
There you go. Lindenberg, obviously, number 4 tonight as we get our draws done and get set for featured activity here in a few moments. that we have that have decided to come out. 28Z Ryan Zook, that's the question mark because he was set to go on the pole. And not sure if he is still on the grounds with us or not, but in the event of that, the 19 of Danny Atherton, he will be moved up to the number 1 spot. Andy Anderson to his outside. Dale Murphy in the 000. Jonathan Raley in the 25R. They'll be the front 2 rows as we get set. 10 laps here in the LCQ for late model Sportsman. Field off into 1 and 2. Anderson, Raley, and also Atherton, followed by the Murphy machine. It was a chain reaction.
Stay high in 2.
And those 3 drivers at least get together over in turn number 1 and 2. Not a severe amount of damage, I don't believe, but everybody had to come to a big-time stop and avoid contact with each other. A little bit of contact down there. And then Sunday, the Paul Long Memorial at Selinsgrove Speedway. Fall Fest round number 2. That's just some of the action. Of course, Labor Day, the biggie for a lot of late model racing and racing in general at dirt tracks as we get set for a restart. Off at turn number 4, Andy Anderson trying to get up to the gearbox quickly and back to the stripe. Anderson takes it down into 1 and 2. Going to be Murphy in the 000 up into second. Kuntz in the 08B. He'll take third. The K machine, I should say. 25R. Jonathan Raley currently 4th. And Malinowski in the 42. He, along with Doug Leon, fighting for that number 5 spot. Anderson, the leader of lap number 1. Well, all about moving up spots in the order here and just to get a better starting spot in tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. Right now for Andy Anderson, he's holding on to the lead. Kuntz in that double 08K on the outside of Jonathan Raley. They have a good battle for the number 3 position. Going to be Raley tucking to the inside. He'll grab third down in turn number 1 and 2. Anderson all the while stretching out that lead. Trouble for Murphy in the 000, the runner-up right now. About to hit the back pits. He's still drifting down the back straightaway as our leaders come back for lap number 3. And we'll see if Murphy, he still denies access into the infield area, and that may bring a Jesse James Automart caution out tonight. And indeed it does. Murphy denies access to the pits on 2 different occasions. The Jesse James Automart yellow comes out tonight. All right, field stacking up down the back straightaway as they get set to head the Jesse James Automart restart zone in turn number 3 and 4. Following this, semi-lates will be on track for their 20-lap main event. Late model Sportsman's 20-lapper will be next. 15 laps for the semi-lates. 20 laps for our crate late models and 20 for the pure stocks as we go green one more time. Anderson and Raley back to the stripe. Anderson got the good jump. Raley draws even with him down in turn number 1 and 2. He'll power move on the outside. Raley shot out of a cannon. Grabs that lead off turn number 2. Going to be Anderson back in second, followed by the 08K of Kuntz, 42 of Malinowski, and then the 12 of Legum as they come back for lap number 4. Raley rim riding there as he got those 2 left side wheels right up off the ground in that entrance of 1 and 2. Good 5-6 car length advantage over Andy Anderson right now. Kuntz about the same distance back in third as we put halfway on the board here in tonight's 10-lap LCQ. Six laps complete. 42 of Malinowski off the pace down the front straightaway as the leaders make their way back into 3 and 4. Lap number 7 about to go on the board. Still Jonathan Raley in control. 25 of Anderson. Oh, trouble for Raley now. Down the front straightaway. And Jonathan Raley with issues. It has been a dismal season for the Hollywood, Maryland driver, going all the way back to before a first competitive race, practice day at Potomac. Engine woes set him down, and now again trouble for the 25. All right, time limit has been hit in this LCQ, and by virtue of that, checkered is about to come out. Andy Anderson will take the victory of the LCQ tonight. The 08K of Keith Kuntz will come home in the number 2 spot. And the 12 of Doug Legum will be credited with third. 5.56 of Eric Cronice will round out the order as those drivers will now get ready for their 20-lap main event. 15 laps again the distance in our semi-late return back to the Speedway. Been off for about a month or so. Well, they're back in action and looking to do battle as we head into the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone tonight for our first feature event of the evening. All right, field under green. Going to be Ryan Sager, the 22 star, grabbing that lead. Ronnie Dennis into second spot. The 65 of Wilson right there in third. Look at Dennis on the outside. Power move as he'll grab the number 1 spot off turn number 4 and into the lead. Going to be Sager in second, followed by Dylan Wilson and Steve Kent, front 4, nose to tail as they work off a turn number 2. Kent using that low side, tries to draw even with Wilson down the back straightaway. Bobby Mikesell, the 19M, he brings up that second charge of cars from 5th on back as the leaders make their way back for lap number 2. And right now, Dennis in control. Biggest challenge is for third as Wilson tries to fence off Kent. Kent's right down to the bottom, but slides that car up and will fall back into 4th position. Meanwhile, Kern's on the move in the 83, the 2-time winner trying to get around Mikesell. That's the battle for 5th, a little bit further back from these front 4 machines as 3 are complete this time by. Can't quite get the handle as he tries to make the move down low again off of Wilson. This time a little deeper into turn number 2 and falls back in line one more time. Top 2 drivers have cleared away, and that is the 19 of Ronnie Dennis, followed by the 22 star of Ryan Sager. They are comfortable in their positions as they close in on the 25 of Mills. Wilson again going high off of turn number 2. That opens the door. Kent will drag race him down the back straightaway. They'll be dead even upon entrance of turn number 3. Kent down low. Wilson keeping him pinched down there, and he'll hold that number 3 spot as they work back for lap 5. A third of the way through tonight's 15-lap main event. Meanwhile, Ronnie Dennis in control, looking to become the latest feature event winner, which would be winner, let's see, in simulate action so far this year, Brandon, Giesemann, Kent, Kern, Stoner, and Wilson. This would be winner number 7 in simulate action. And Ronnie Dennis powering it a little out of shape in turn number 1 and 2 on his entrance, gathers it back up. Kent and Wilson still with a battle. Kent had got the spot, lost it to Wilson, now gains it back off of that second turn. And all the while, they are losing ground to the front 2 machines. As 7 laps recorded this time by Late Model Sportsman for your main event to the staging area. Late Model Sportsman drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Mikesell, the 19M, still holding on to the number 5 position. Kearns had challenged earlier, but now about a 2 or 3 car length advantage for Mikesell as the leaders make it back halfway on the board this time by. 8 of the 15 have been recorded. Little bit of smoke coming from that 22 star. Ryan Sager through the corners. Not sure if that was a little bit of a tire rub or some other issues, but he has got that left front wheel raised up off the ground, twisting that car. And Steve Kent begins to close that gap up. About 5 car length separation between second and third. Ronnie Dennis, meanwhile, on cruise control. 5 laps to go this time by. It'll be Sager in second. Kent, the point leader, looking to see if he can pad that lead. The 65 of Dylan Wilson still holding on to the number 4 spot. The 19M of Bobby Mikesell in 5th as the leaders make their way down the back chute. Again, late model Sportsman drivers for your main event to the staging area. Late model Sportsman drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Oh, Ronnie Dennis looking to put a hurting on the field tonight as he'll put lap 12 on the board here in a few moments off at turn number 4.
Yellow and 3 and 4, yellow, yellow.
And our Jesse James Automart caution is coming out. Looks like it might be debris. And smoke still tailing from that 22 star. A little bit of Ryan Sager.
All right, back to green this time, drivers. 19, you start the race anytime after the turn 3-4 flagman. Once you get past that pole, we can go.
As our simulates get geared up for the final 4 circuits here in tonight's event. Again, late model Sportsman drivers, your main event coming up next. We need you to the staging area, please. Oh, in trouble! One car upside down. It is Isaiah Miller. Major damage here on the front straightaway. Red flag is out, and that started all the way up in the front. It looked like Sager, and he had almost got the Dennis machine turned sideways, and then everybody else with evasive maneuvers, they were jammed up behind him, and it led to the Isaiah Miller machine upside down. Shane McQuay, and for the second time this year, heavy damage on the 65, but Dylan Wilson. Checking on our drivers, make sure everybody's okay. We'll let you know as soon as we know. All right, that's Isaiah Miller headed to the medical unit. So our driver that was upside down, looks like everybody is being checked out, and at least everybody's out of their car, and that's the good news. Yeah, Isaiah just getting checked out in the ambulance. He did walk under his own power. Everybody is okay, and that's good news. A lot of damage, but cars can be replaced, drivers can't. So a lot of cleanup to be taken care of here. All right, Ronnie Dennis back up to green. Here comes Steve Kent in the Jesse James Automart start zone as they headed back into 1 and 2. Kent worked on Dylan Wilson several laps underneath. And again, trying that low move. Can't do it. Dennis has been in control since the outset. Lap number 12 about to be recorded. Top 2 ease away just a little bit. Dennis running low to middle. Kent down bottom, swings it wide, and right now the lead is 5 car lengths back to the stripe. 9-time Simulate winner during the course of his career. Been a while since he's been in the victory lane. As Ronnie Dennis brings it back into turn number 3 and 4. 2 laps to go coming up this time by. Kent still in second spot, trying to find a way to dig himself closer to the back end of that 19 machine. 19M of Bobby Meixell, the 83 Brian Kearns, and also the 25 Jeremy Mills cars remaining on the track after the carnage here on the front straightaway. And once in front after that early challenge on the restart, Ronnie Dennis has checked out once again. White flag in the air this time by. And it's going to be Dennis down the back straightaway as Bobby Meixell, the latest casualty here on the front straightaway into the pit area. The other 19, that's going to be Ronnie Dennis back in victory lane as our latest Simulate feature event winner. 7 different drivers in victory lane this year. The 1C of Steve Kent will keep that points lead alive as he comes home in second. 83 of Brian Kearns, 25 Jeremy Mills. They'll be the drivers rounding out the field tonight in our semi-late main event. Late model Sportsman, your 20-lapper up next. We need you to the staging area. Interest of saving time, we will do all interviews at the end of the night. Interviews will be done at the end of the night. I'm sorry, Jason. Calvin, get your butt back up on the flag stand. All right, caution lights out. We're set to do battle. Sean Shoemaker, defending late model Sportsman champion, that #1 machine. DJ Myers, two-time winner a year ago here in the 70J, looking for that first Hagerstown Speedway victory of the season. 20 laps coming up for the late model Sportsman drivers. They hit the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone down in turn number 3 and 4. Here we go. 20 laps of action tonight in the Summer Sizzler. Shoemaker grabbing the lead. DJ Myers trying to find the right path through turn number 1 and 2. Going to be Cody Breeden up into third. Eric Irvin down off to a good run off that second turn. Brandon Bard, the door is open to 94. He'll crawl underneath now. It's going to be Irvin trying to fight to the outside and win that battle back. But give it to Bard here on lap number 1. And that is for fourth. Irvin will stay to his outside. The 87X, the top qualifier now, moves himself back up into fourth. Bard in fifth. Brian Booz in the number 6 spot. Lee Ziegler in 7th. Lear and Bonebreak side by side for the number 8 position. Shoemaker, meanwhile, leading Myers by a car length back for lap number 2. '25, Andy Anderson pulling off into the infield area here on our second circuit. Our LCQ winner out of Bunker Hill, West Virginia, having his issues as the leaders make it way back to lap number 3. Myers turning the wick up on Sean Shoemaker as it's only a car length separation between those two. And again, Myers, good run down the back straightaway, but caution on the speedway. Our Jesse James Auto Mart caution flag is out. All right, field stacked up. 3 complete. There's 20 that make up tonight's event. Front row still the same. Going to be Shoemaker and Myers as we hit the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone back in turn number 3 and 4. And here we go once again. Shoemaker up to the gearbox quickly. He'll grab the lead at the start-finish line. Eric Irvin and Cody Breeden side by side in that battle. 2x2 racing. Myers trying to find a spot to the outside. Irvin powers around Breeden down the back straightaway. And now it's going to be Myers to the outside. He'll grab the lead as well. 2 good battles for first and third. Here comes another player in the game. Looks like it's going to be the 151 of Kyle Lear to the outside of Brian Booz. And that may put the 3-time winner up in the number 5 spot. For the moment, he's way up in the marbles. He'll gather it back in behind Booz. The 94 of Brandon Bard this time. That driver up in the 7th spot. Looks like he's off the pace. And the Jesse James Auto Mart caution out. The 2+2 of Cody Kirshner is the gentleman that likes to see the yellow right now.
'70J, you start the race after the turn 3-4 flagman. Consistent pace coming to the green.
Back into the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Myers, Shoemaker. This time, 1 is going to be the 70 on the inside of the 1. Green back in the air. Myers will haul him down in there. Breeden sticks it into the bottom side, and he will grab the number 2 position away from Shoemaker. And guess what? We've got a Jesse James Auto Mart caution again. Trying to get some laps put together here, but just those pesky cautions coming out. Momentum killers right now as they headed back into the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone. Myers to the inside of Shoemaker once again. Both drivers looking for their first Hagerstown victories of the season. All right, we're going to bring it out once again. And as we had a problem in our crate race, you have got to start after the caution flagman down in turn 3 and 4. You hit the gas before you hit that gentleman, you will not
70J,
start.
you have to start after the turn 3-4 flagman. You're dropping back 2 rows. 87, you are now the pole setter for this. 70J, you need to drop back behind the B2.
And that will put Eric Irvin in the 87X up on the front row. Shoemaker back in the number 2 spot on the outside. Booz in the B2. Breeden in the 14. The top 2 in the points. Myers now back into 5th position as they get set to go back to green. And the 151 of Kyle Lear. He's right up there in that mix as well. Irvin takes him into turn number 1 and 2. Going to be Shoemaker into 2nd. Brian Booz in the B2. He'll get around Breeden up into 3rd. There comes the 70J of DJ Myers. He's going to be on a run, trying to see if he can make up for what he got penalized for, and that was a jump on the restart. He's to the inside of Breeden, challenging for the number 4 position down the front straightaway. Breeden is on the outside, trying to hold on. Lear is back in the number 6 spot. 27 to Lee Ziegler, then the 37F of Wesley Bonebrake, followed by the E85 of Chad Ernst and the 21M of Matt Murphy. 6 laps complete this time in tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. Irvin, the top qualifier earlier tonight, in control. Rolled the number 4 dice. Had to start to the outside of row number 2. And that penalty on the restart was a big help. And another Jesse James Automart caution coming out. We've got one driver slowing and stopping here on the front straightaway. All right, front row remains the same. Irvin and Shoemaker back up front. Going to be Brian Booz to the inside. Of row number 2, DJ Myers has worked his way back to the outside of that second row. Cody Breeden, Kyle Lear. Here we go in the Jesse James Automart restart zone. Lap number 6 complete. Here we go off at turn number 4. Still with 14 circuits left in tonight's late model Sportsman main event. It'll be Irvin taking him down into 1 and 2. Myers finding the top shelf, and he's going to almost try to make it up in there. Looked like he was thinking about going to the outside. Not enough room as Shoemaker dives down low below Irvin. And now Myers gets a little bit crossed up down in turn 3 and 4. 5 drivers fighting for 1 spot. Booz, Lear, and Myers are all up in there with the 14 of Cody Breeden likewise. It'll be Irvin the leader by 3 car lengths. Shoemaker in a second. Myers on a vengeance run. He is on the outside. Brian Booz down the back straightaway. Up into 3rd he goes. Lear working the top line as well in the 151. The 3-time winner challenging the point leader Brian Booz. And Cody Breeden right now remains in the top 6. 27 to Lee Ziegler back in 7th. Bonebrake holding on to the number 8 spot. Matt Murphy in 9th. And the 08K Keith Kuntz rounding out the top 10. So right now, Irvin in control. He's got about a 5-car length advantage. The pressure's on for 2nd. Myers trying to get after Shoemaker. And then Booz, Lear, and Breeden. They are nose to tail. 3rd, make it 4th, 5th, and 6th as we get set for halfway. Myers finds that bottom side. Off of turn number 2, he's got the run down the back straightaway. Hole in the mail, and turn 3 and 4, and around Shoemaker he goes. Eric Irvin, the only driver left, but DJ Myers wants that first victory, trying to get back up into the number 1 spot. Car is rolling off of turn number 2, and it's going to be about a 3-car length differential between the leader Irvin and DJ Myers. Right now, Shoemaker holding on to a distant 3rd as they come back for lap number 11, and Myers clearly closing on your leader. Brian Booz has broken away from Kyle Lear. The 151 also had troubles. He's pulling off into the back pit area. So the 3-time winner's out, and all the while, Myers gets around Irvin down the back straightaway, and into the lead he goes. Irvin trying to make a tight move on him, but he fell back, and he is now about 5 car lengths back in the number 2 spot. So the 70J of DJ Myers serving the penalty early for jumping the initial start or a restart. Now goes around the lap machine of Doug Legum, and that 70J is hooked up in turn 3 and 4. 13 complete this time by. Battles on for 2nd. Sean Shoemaker closing on Eric Irvin. They split the difference on the lap car of Doug Legum. And the B2 of Brian Booz is there likewise. 14 of Cody Breeden trying to chase down that points leader and keep that battle tight as he rounds out the top 5 as they work their way back for lap number 14. It'll be 5 laps to go this time off of turn number 4 for DJ Myers. And once in front, he's got about a quarter of straightaway advantage right now. He has bulled his way through the field fiercely and reassumed that number 1 spot. Down the back chute. Right now, Irvin comfortably in second. The challenge may be for third. It was Shoemaker let out of sorts off turn number 2. Boo sees the door open down bottom. He'll take that number 3 position and give himself a 1-position cushion over the man chasing him in the battle for the championship. That's the 14 of Cody Breeden back there in the number 5 spot. 6th on the field, still the 37F of Bonebreak, 3rd in points. 27 of Lee Ziegler holding on to 7th right now as the leaders make their way back. 21M of Matt Murphy. Leaders heading down into turn 3 and 4. Myers beginning to hit the back end of the field around some slower machines as he comes back for the 2 to go sign around Doug Legum. As he works it back into 1 and 2. Eric Irvin, the 87X, the top qualifier, now deals with the Legum machine likewise. Can't quite get around him. It's holding him up, and Brian Booz sees it. The B2 on the charge. He's down within 3 car lengths, still trying to battle for the number 2 position. White flag in the air this time for DJ Myers. So far this year, 8 different drivers have found their way to victory lane. The record last year was 9. We're about to hit that. So far, it's been Kyle Lear, Jeremy Pokerton, Wesley Bonebreak, Ray Cable, Spike Moore, Cody Breeden, Ryan Zook, and Brian Booz. You can add DJ Myers to that list. The 9th different late model Sportsman winner at Hagerstown. Eric Irvin coming home in 2nd. Brian Booz, Sean Shoemaker, and Cody Breeden will be your top 5 at tonight's 20-lap late model Sportsman main event. Scott Sweeney Jr. and Kyle Hardy, they have been the other crate winners. And don't forget, even though this is the final points race for the crates this year, they'll be part of the Hub City National Weekend coming up here at the early part of September. But this will be their final points race of the 2025 season as Mason Booz and Jacob Burdett get them set in the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone off turn number 4. All right, green is out. Booz will take him into turn number 1 and 2. Chuck Bowie down to the bottom side. Burnett up top, and David Kaiser looking on as the battle for 2nd is side by side. 2D of Josh Dotson right now holding on to 5th. And the 27 of Upperman making up the top 6 as it'll be Booz leading lap number 1. Top side to Jacob Burdett of the 08K as he looks to see if he can claim that number 1 spot. He'll draw even with Booz down the back straightaway and still works that high line. Little out of shape. They make contact. Here comes Kaiser and also the 14C of Chuck Bowie. Everybody made contact. And it'll be Burdett the leader here at lap number 2. Booz will go to 2nd. Kaiser in 3rd. Going to be Bowie in 4th. And Dotson, the 2D, holding on to 5th. The point leader, Upperman, the 27, holding on to 6th. The 19 of Witt back in 7th. That's Alan Witt in trouble for the 43 of Jared Edwards. Off the pace. Looks like he may have a flat. Something gone awry on that machine. And he pulls it up into 3-4 turn. May stay fast enough to get himself into the pit area. We stay no. Apparently there is also debris. It looks like Edwards was able to get himself in. I don't believe that was the caution. I believe there is also debris as well, but the 43 of Jared Edwards having some issues, and that brings that car down on the pit lane. Tonight's Booz Brothers Performance crate late models, the Alan Witt Jr. machine and the 40 of Scott Sweeney Jr. They'll make up row number 4. Dylan Pryor and also the 44 of Nick DeBella. And then the 26P of Marty Pownall. They are all up in there as we get set for the restart in the Jesse James Auto Mart restart zone. Here we go off turn number 4. And again, it will be Burdett driving that lead. Upperman trying to get around Dotson. The point leader trying to pad that lead and make sure he stays in front of everybody after him. A great jam up for the number 2 spot. Give it to Booz. Kaiser back into 3rd. Bowie in 4th. And now Upperman up into 5th. of trouble. Massive flip here in turn number 3 and 4. That's going to be the B2 of Mason Booz. Airtime on that car. And Mason Booz upside down. Well, again, we'll give you an update on Mason Booz as soon as we do hear something. But again, trying to get him taken care of. Our track crew over there. Car just catching over there in turn 3 and 4 and just did a series of violent flips and just hoping everything's okay with Mason. We'll let you know as soon as we get the word. Driver is okay. Driver is okay. All right, 3 laps complete. Field stacked up. Burdett, Kaiser, they're on the front row. Chuck Bowie and Josh Dotson back at row number 2. Upperman, Alan Witt Jr., row 3. Scott Sweeney Jr., Dylan Pryor, and the 44 of DeBella as we go back to green off at turn number 4 in our Jesse James Automart restart zone. It'll be Burdett taking him down into 1 and 2. Kaiser trying to find the proper line. Going to be Dotson working a good high line off at turn number 2. Witt's got the bottom line. That'll be the battle right now for the number 4 position. Dotson working high side. Going to be Burdett down to the bottom, and they pinch. And Burdett trying to gather himself up. Dotson's got trouble over in turn number 4. Good tight battle between Dotson and the 19 of Alan Witt Jr. One more time, Burdett and Kaiser up front. Bowie and now Upperman. He'll be on the outside of that second row. Sweeney and Alan Witt Jr. Dylan Pryor, Nick DeBella trimming our field down. Attrition rate has been pretty costly here as they hit the Jesse James Automart restart zone. Burdett and Kaiser back to the green. Field back at 1 and 2, and Kaiser almost went upside down. He lifted. We could see his hiney underneath that car as he goes down the back straightaway. Upperman, he goes into second. We see Chuck Bowie now moving up into third. Kaiser trying to regain what he lost. Great airtime. Reminded me of Jamie Latham many years ago when he did the bicycle move in 1 and 2. And was able to keep it down. It'll be Burdett taking advantage of that issue. Upperman, the point leader now, moving up into second. Kaiser in third. Bowie in fourth. Alan Witt Jr. top 5 as we've got 6 complete when they come back to the line this time. Tough battle for second right now. Kaiser trying to gain back what he lost a few moments ago. He keeps the pressure on Upperman. All the while, Jacob Burdett trying to check out at lap number 7. Upperman, little sideways off at turn number 4. Open the door for Kaiser. He couldn't make the move, and he stays in line on that rear deck lid back there in third position. Chuck Bowie, the 14C, holding on to fourth. Alan Witt Jr. Those are the 2 drivers chasing Upperman in the battle for the championship. And unless something drastically changes, looks like Upperman has got this one locked up in crate late model action for 2025 here at lap number 8. But all the while, Jacob Burdett having a great run as well. As we mentioned, 5 different drivers have been in victory lane. And Burdett, one of those that's still looking for that first victory. Upperman, likewise, as the point leader, been very consistent this year. Some good crate fields as well. 36 cars for the $2,000 to win event just a couple of weekends ago. 2 weeks prior to that, 20-car field for the crates. And again tonight, a little bit slimmer. But again, season winding down for a lot of drivers. As Upperman opens up about a 2-car length advantage. Some breathing room back there in second. Half straightaway lead pretty much for Jacob Burdett as he takes the cross flags for halfway here in tonight's 20-lap Booz Brothers Performance Crate Late Model event. Upperman second, Kaiser third, Bowie in fourth, Allenwood Jr. on his heels in fifth. The 40S of Scott Sweeney back to the number 6 spot. Nick DeBella in seventh. 28 of Dylan Pryor. They make up the driver still running out there on the field as we begin the second half of tonight's 20-lap main event. Pure Stocks for your main event. You can make your way to the staging area. Pure Stock drivers for your main event to the staging area, please. Turn advantage for Burdett with 7.5 circuits to go. And again, the battle resumes for the number 2 position. Kaiser has found something. He gains back up on the back end of the 27 of Upperman in turn 3 and 4. Meanwhile, a turn back going to be Chuck Bowie in 4th position. He's got Allenwood Jr. and Scott Sweeney. They are nose to tail back to the stripe with 13 complete. Plus a caution comes out. Burdett is trying to put this one on cruise control. 14 will be complete this time by, and he's got a huge lead as he works it back to the stripe. Again, Devin Brannon, David Kaiser, Jacob Wick, Scott Sweeney Jr., and Kyle Hardy, all drivers that have found crate late model victory lane. Parity has reigned supreme in some very good cars that have run here at Hagerstown in the crate late model division for 2025. And Burdett, just another one of the many that's doing very well as he takes the 5 to go indication this time by. Pure Stocks to the staging area for your feature event. Pure Stock drivers again to the staging area for your feature event. So the yo-yo action between Upperman and Kaiser continues. It is opened back up by a few car lengths again. Kaiser had closed the gap up, and then Upperman begins to ease away, and they remain within about 3 car lengths of one another back to the stripe. And as it happens, it's going to be Burdett midpoint down the back straightaway. 3 circuits to go when he comes back to the line. Battle for second again intensifies. Kaiser puts the pressure on, and 2 laps to go. Facing the Brownsville, Maryland driver, Jacob Burdett, as he'll bring it back to the stripe, looking at the signs he wants to see. And almost a straightaway advantage. Upperman remains in second. Kaiser holding on to third. Chuck Bowie back in fourth. And the 19 of Allenwood Jr., the top 5. Well, Burdett doesn't have to worry about it, but he's right on the back end of Nick DeBella, the 44, the lap machine. He'll dive underneath as the white flag comes out this time by. And we'll follow your leader back around. He makes contact with DeBella down in turn 1 and 2. None the worse for wear, so now he can breathe as he heads down the back straightaway for the final time into 3 and 4. And we look to find our 6th different crate late model winner. It will be Jacob Burdett, scoring his first of the 2025 season. 27 of Kyler Upperman back to the stripe unofficially. He'll be your crate late model champion. The 11K of David Kaiser, he will wind up in third. The battle coming off at turn number 4 for the number 4 spot. The 14C of Chuck Bowie, he'll get it. The 19 of Allenwood Jr. and the 40S of Scott Sweeney Jr. They're all right there as well. Checkered is out, and it looks like the 08 of Jacob Burdett, our latest crate late model winner in our Booz Brothers Performance sponsored class for the 2025 season. And once again, congratulations not only out to Jacob, but also unofficially to the 27 of Kyler Upperman, your 2025 crate late model champion here at the Hagerstown Speedway. All right, Blake Reed and Dylan Beavers making it down the back straightaway. We mentioned Nick Fogel starting third. The last 2 races he has led and was on his way to victory, but issues of a mechanical nature knocked him out both times. And he is looking to see if he can get redemption here on try number 3. Green flag is out as we hit the Jesse James Auto Mart start zone. It'll be Beavers on the high line in turn 1 and 2, grabbing the lead. Lindenberg following suit to the outside of Blake Reed down the back straightaway. But again, that low side momentum off that second turn here at Hagerstown. And Reed winds it up and moves it back up into second position. Swings it wide. Lindenberg with a crossover move, and he'll go back up into second. Reed will be third, Fogel in fourth, and Fisher the top 5 here on lap number 1. Reed a little out of sorts off of turn number 2, and we got 2x2 racing for first and third. Lindenberg to the inside of Beavers, and going to be Fogel and Reed. Top 4 drivers, everybody looking for their first victory of the 2025 season in pure stock action. And Lindenberg will find his way to the number 1 spot here on lap number 2. Beavers right to those tire tracks as Fogel moves up into third. Reed in fourth. He'll swing it wide, and that opens the door for Tyler Fisher. The 32F will go underneath and try for the number 4 position. Yonker, the point leader in the 31 right now. He's holding on to 6th with a 57 of William Ecton Jr. in 7th. So Randy Lindenberg, a one-time winner a year ago, and he won early in the 2024 season. Wasn't with us all season long this year. And in the last couple of weekends, that car has showed more and more strength in getting closer and closer. Tonight he was a top qualifier in time trials. Quickly getting that lead over Dylan Beavers. And eventually may have to deal with Nick Fogel, that number 1 machine. He is working on Beavers pretty good. A little out of sorts in turn 1 and 2. He falls back in line in third. Fisher will be fourth, and now it's going to be Yonker in the 31 to the inside of Blake Reed. He'll get 5th here on lap number 5. So Lindenberg with about a 7, 8, 9 car length advantage over Beavers. Another 2 back to Nick Fogel. Comfortable over Tyler Fisher. And Yonker, he's got some work to do to try to play catch up back there in the number 5 position. Seven complete this time by as we close in on the halfway point. And as we mentioned in Pure Stocks, 5 different drivers in victory lane this year. Keith Reed is accounted for 5, the defending champion. Evan Faust, we mentioned, the 78 was here tonight, but unfortunately had problems early. The 2-time winner had to pack it up. Brandon Churchy in the 72 RC. He had picked up a couple of feature event victories on some of the Memorial weekends for the Durborough Tribute and the Saggy Tribute. Tyler Fisher won earlier in the year, and Nathaniel Yonker, he picked up his first just a week ago and maintained the points lead in that 31 machine. So if this holds to suit, and right now the top 3, all of them looking for their first of the 2025 season, and it's tightening up for those 3 machines just a little bit. And it could get even tighter as we've got Tyler Fisher off the pace down the back straightaway in the 32F. That may bring a caution out. We will see what happens down the back chute. The one-time feature winner. He gets it down, and he will get it into the pits. The opening on the back straightaway. Good boy. 17 Ella Lindenberg, though. That lead has shrunk down to a car length. Here comes Dylan Beavers in the 62. He's challenging for the lead off at turn number 4. 5 laps to go this time by in our Pure Stock main event. Beavers taking a peek to the inside. Fogel not far back, only about a few car lengths, and a good run for Beavers down low. He really set that car up well. And off of turn number 2, they are drag racing down the back straightaway. Lindenberg showing the horses on the high side. He'll pull ahead just a little bit, but Beavers will try to draw even. Good, tight racing off turn 4. Lindenberg still your leader. Oh, and Beavers a little out of shape, and up the bankity he went and right into the quarter panel of Randy Lindenberg. And Nick Fogel will possibly find himself again in the number 1 spot. All right, we're back in the Jesse James Automart restart zone. 4 to go. Nick Fogel, Nathaniel Yonker, Blake Reed, William Ecton Jr., and Jesse Daniels. They're the top 5 with Lindenberg and Beavers right behind them. Fogel back in 1 and 2. He's got the lead, a couple of car lengths over Yonker. And here comes the battle. Lindenberg further back to the inside of Ecton. 2x2 racing. Beavers around Jesse Daniels as Lindenberg trying to gain back quite a bit, but a very short period of time to get there. As lap number 12 will go on the board this time by Nathaniel Yonker in second, Blake Reed in third, Ecton in fourth, and Lindenberg right now the top 5. Beavers behind him as a 62 also trying to follow him. Here goes Lindenberg to the outside of Ecton, down the back chute up into fourth. And 2 to go will be on the board this time by lap and a half away. Lindenberg has worked himself up into third spot. He's got a lot of pedaling to do in a very short period of time to catch up to those front 2. Ecton is up into the number 4 position. Dylan Beavers has brought his way back up into 5th. White flag, meanwhile, in the air for Nick Fogel. Final lap for the Myersville, Maryland driver. Twice in a row, he has been the leader, and problems hit. Tonight, he is trying to eliminate that issue, and off of turn 4, little out of shape, but Nick Fogel gathers it back in, and Nick Fogel will get that pure stock victory, the first of the year. Nathaniel Yonker, Randy Lindenberg, they will be the top 3 tonight. Battle back to the stripe, William Ecton Jr. and the 62 of Dylan Beavers. They will be the top 5 in tonight's Bob Spielman, Realtors Pure Stock main event. Okay, drivers that picked up victories. Gentlemen, if you would like some interviews and pictures in victory lane, you can bring your cars to the front straightaway. All right, checkered flags, victory lanes, a lot going on, and we're going to hit the first winner tonight. And what a race for DJ Myers in the 70J. Dude, I knew that it was coming. It was inevitable. You're the night different winner. I know we weren't happy, I'm sure, with the restart issue. I know we had that in our crate race a couple of weekends ago, but I don't even want to talk about that. I want to talk about the run you had. That car was flying.
Yeah, all they did was piss me off. Raced a long time, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know how a leader could be caught jumping. They tell you to start down here where the flagman stands on the podium. Half a car length, if that, jump on the start. And we raced here the other week with the cable boy, and they give him 2 warnings, and he still had the lead. Little respect. This track needs to learn that us racers support them. And we are here. We pay to play. And they wouldn't have a show if we weren't here. And I wish they would think about things a little bit, and they wouldn't have none of this if they didn't have these fans to come out. These fans don't want to watch dumb shit like that. And we're here to support them, and I just wasn't very happy with the situation, and it's over with. But I want them to know that they're going to lose cars from that, because it's going to make the decision whether we want to come back or not, because we won, and that's grateful, and I'm glad with it. But there needs to be a balance on these rules on how things are operating.
DJ, I appreciate your honesty, and I know that you've worked very hard to get yourself into victory lane with this machine. Who would you like to thank tonight?
I want to thank my dad and Bob and Ty and Wyatt and Ronnie, everybody, that's my wife, my kids. This is our car. We built this car. This is the TRW chassis. We built 2 of them this year. Another young man's going to get in one here, hopefully in the next week or 2. It's just taking a little longer than we expected. We've run it now, I think, 6-7 times. We've won twice with it. We're very pleased. And it was a lot of work over winter. I give my dad a pat on the back when we get out. It's something that a father and son did over winter. I'm getting older, and I don't have a lot of racing in me, but I sure try. And I wanted to build my own car before I quit racing. And that was our plan. So over all the years of different cars and manufacturing, things we did and spindles we built and stuff like that, we put a car together that we thought would be compatible to be competitive. And I think we did pretty good tonight. The track threw the curveball. I know the rain, Mikey or the fellow in the backstretch that always flags. I can't think of his name. Brian. Very nice fellow. He did his best. Congrats to them. It's just with the rain, that's just what it was. And so, you can either cry about it or join the club and free your car up and try to get it done.
Fierce performance tonight, and it was clean coming back. Great job, DJ. Congratulations.
Thank you very much, and I hope the fans like that ass whooping I give them.
All right, DJ Myers. Yeah, it was whipping. That was an impressive performance for the driver of the 70J as he picks up the late model Sportsman win, his first here at Hagerstown, and the 9th different driver to find his way into victory lane. Victories, he's a past pure stock champion, name synonymous with Hagerstown Speedway. Give it up, your semi-late winner tonight, Ronnie Dennis. And I know that's a name people have heard for many years. Well, see, I've heard that name for so long, I knew the name. I figured an old man with a cane was going to be getting out of the car, and you look much younger than me, Ronnie.
Well, I don't know about that, but it's been a long time, you know. I moved up to the Sportsman class several years ago and had some luck. Didn't get a win out of it, but then decided to regroup and next figure I'd take a year off, and that year turned into almost 10 years. And my nephew started racing. I wanted to thank him for that, to get me back into it a little bit and play with him for a little bit. And my kids really didn't see me race, so they're grown up now to do it. I'm a little emotional.
That's okay. That's okay.
My father's not here. He passed away a few years ago, so this was for him. But, you know, winning the race, I didn't want to see the caution for sure, and it appears to be some controversy there because we got together, the 22 and I don't drive like that. People know I don't drive like that. I thought I left enough room, but I'll have to watch the video and see what, you know, the outcome is. But, you know, if it's my fault, then I apologize for all that, because I certainly wouldn't want that to happen to anybody, because these cars are not cheap.
Right.
And, you know, on a track like this, and it's very rough, they are difficult to drive, and you always have to, or you're on the floor the whole time. So, but, you know, it feels good. Hopefully we got a little bit more, but glad to have, you know, my in-laws are here, my sister-in-law and brother-in-law and their kids. It's good.
Well, Ronnie, who would you like to thank in addition to these fine people that are here down as well?
Well, I want to thank, you know, my nephew. He helps me. I've been down in the sport for 10 years, and he's told me some things I needed to do on these cars, because it's been a while. They differ from what I used to drive, and you know, I got some sponsors. Unfortunately, I don't have them on the car, but there's, I got to think about it because they just came on a few weeks ago, but there's Prime Exterior Roofings and Quality Hands Siding and Roofing that I want to thank. And Kenny Dillon, you know, he's not here, but this is the old motor of his that he gave me, or was sold to me, and we worked on that to run this class. But, you know, thank my wife. You know, she puts up me in the garage here lately, and the kids, and just everybody.
Very emotional, but rightly so. Ronnie, great to see you back in victory lane. Doesn't look like you ever lost a beat. Thank you so much for being here tonight, and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Ronnie Dennis, our latest semi-late winner, and back in Hagerstown Speedway victory lane. Good to see. Well, he started on the outside of the front row. He got the lead from Mason Booz early. He had to survive numerous cautions, but he becomes a latest feature event winner in a very impressive performance. Give it up for our Jacob Burdett, our crate late model winner tonight here at Hagerstown. Jacob, very impressive performance this evening.
Thank you very much.
I tell you, take us through the race. I mean, I know the track was a little bit challenging tonight because of all the rain that we got, but your car just seemed to be superb. I know David Kaiser was probably on your mind because he'd won a couple of races and has had a very successful season. But for you, did you expect it to be that good for you tonight?
Never. Whenever you come to race against these guys, you don't know how good you're going to be. And when you're out front, it's hard to tell how far they're behind you. And he's pretty good, so I know that he would be fast, but he's clean too.
You know, during a red flag, I guess, when Mason flipped, and thank God he was okay, every time I mentioned that name Burdett, I heard a lot of people on these grandstands cheering for you. You got a pretty good following.
Yeah, I think pretty much everybody I know is here.
Oh, tell me you know more than this many people. You know what? You're going to be a rock star after tonight. You're going to have that many more, and 10 times more, and 100 times more than that.
Thank you very much. I really didn't know what was going to happen because about 6 laps in, I hit a rut down here and the air cleaner fell off. So I just said, might as well just keep going. For the most part, I was out front, so there really wasn't much mud flying.
Who would you like to thank tonight, Jake?
First off, I thank my dad because he's dealt with me since I was 4, racing over there at the quarter midget track, and then hauling me around. And then my grandfather, grandmother, mom's here, my Uncle Joe, my Nana, everybody, all of Yarrisburg's here, Vernon, Teresa, Jen, my Uncle Joe, Aspen, everybody's here.
You forgot Jason. He was the only one you forgot. There you go. You got Jason in there. And Albert's up on the roof videoing, okay?
Good deal. Good deal. Thank you.
Jacob, great job. The crates have been very fun to watch this year. Parity in that class. David was the only one that had a repeat win. Hope we can see you for the Hub City Nationals coming up in a few weeks, because I say you're going to be one of the heavy favorites for that too.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to come on a Friday night after you get off work, but I think we'll try to make that one.
All right, enjoy this one and congratulations.
Thank you.
All right, Jacob Burnett checks in, our newest crate late model winner here at Hagerstown Speedway. You know, the one thing I always like to talk about is parity with different winners, but one thing that's also pretty cool, and I've seen it many times in my career, a driver that doesn't win a race, but he shows the model of consistency. And tonight, you had one of the best in the business behind you as well, and David Kaiser. Kyler, number one, congratulations on a crate late model championship, because even though there wasn't a victory in your repertoire this year here at Hagerstown Speedway, you're one of the top flight cars. There's no doubt about it. Each and every week, this 27, when it was here, was one of the very best.
Yeah, would have been nice to get a couple wins here this year. We were close a couple times, but congratulations to Jacob there. He was flying tonight. I thought, once we got separated out there, maybe I could run him down, but just couldn't get there. So, but yeah, we've had a consistent car all year. I got to thank these guys that helped me nonstop throughout the week. These things take a lot to maintain and takes time away from your family and everything else. And I got to thank my wife. She puts up with a lot with us being out in the shop all the time and trying to keep this thing up front. So I got to thank all my sponsors, TCP Cycles, Deerdorf Trucking, 717 Brokerage, MJ Hair Studio, Sunday Best Boutique, and Mountain Gate Transport, and Ferrar's Firearms. Them guys helped me out a lot, and if it wouldn't be for them, I don't know if we'd be here. So it's good to finish the year out like this. So.
And it took a little bit for our crate late model class to get traction. I knew we had them as a points class last year. We were kind of on the fence as to whether that was going to happen this year. Glad it did, because crates are very strong no matter where you go. We were trying to see if Kyle Hardy was going to be here last weekend for the Dubrow Tribute, but he was following the rush deal up in State Line in Erie. Wicked competition. Talk about it right here. You had Jacob Witt. You had Alan Witt Jr. You got Chuck Bowie. Scott Sweeney didn't make it every week, but Scott was very strong. Then you get a Kyle Hardy that shoots in. You never know what you're going to run into. I mean, last weekend or 2 weekends ago, 36 cars for a 2K to win race. It was the best of the best in this particular region that was here. And then like 2 weeks prior, and I know there were some drivers that might have been coming in town to prep, but a good 20-car field. It seems like the crates are gaining a little bit of traction, and I hope that is the case.
Yeah, I tell you, it's they might just be a crate car, but this is definitely a tough class no matter where you go, and I'm hoping you guys keep them on the schedule here for next year, and seems like you've been getting a pretty good car count, so hopefully it continues.
Well, now you got the championship unofficially. I keep saying unofficially, I'm just kind of covering my tail. Now you got the Hub City. Can we see you back here for the Hub City weekend? And that way, now the championship's out of the way, now you can just go ahead and get that win.
Yeah, that'd be nice to finish out the year with a win. But yeah, we're planning on being back. Hopefully the rain stays away, and have a good night.
Kyler, it's been a pleasure to have you here this year at Hagerstown Speedway. Congratulations on being the first of our champions for 2025.
Thank you.
All right, Kyler Upperman, your crate late model champion in the Booz Brothers Performance sponsored class here in 2025. Well, the first question I'm going to ask this man when he gets out of the car, what seemed longer, Nick, was it the 3 weeks it took to finally put this car in victory lane after 2 weeks of just heartache, or just waiting to get in victory lane, waiting for me to finish all my interviews tonight?
Waiting for the interviews to be over.
Dude, I have felt so bad for you after those 2 weeks. I mean, the last race last week, I just even said it on the video. I said, you got to be kidding me. I mean, I know it had to be a heartache. I mean, this could actually be 3 victories in a row. What have been the gremlins that kind of got you in those last couple of weekends?
I don't know. I mean, I was worried about getting my son out racing, so I didn't come out for a couple weeks. Then we had a flat tire. For the first week, I spun out chasing Yonkers, and then the second week, blew a tire, and last week, blew the motor. So we got a backup in. Like I say, it's better to be good than lucky, and tonight I was lucky instead of good. So Randy definitely had that one won. So.
Well, and things kind of work in full circle. I mean, I know I feel bad for Randy and everything that happened there, but you've had your share of tough times too, and it was eventually coming your way as well. You've always been a great competitor with us in my time here at Hagerstown Speedway, so we knew it was only a matter of time for Nick Fogel was going to find his way back to victory lane.
Yeah, it's not my type of track. It's real heavy, real bumpy. I was banging my head around against the seat so bad. So hopefully it dries off, gets slick again. That's a good track.
Who would you like to thank, Nick?
I'd like to thank Robert, Tyler, Reliable Towing. My girlfriend's here all year, but she's on vacation, so I'm sure she's going to be upset, but we'll get another one before the season's over.
Well, glad to see you in victory lane, my friend, and I hope it's not the last one for 2025.
Yeah, me either. Thank you.
All right, Nick Fogel, he picks up our Pure Stock victory tonight here at Hagerstown as our final winner tonight here on a very busy and long night.